Robot Framework Robotic Library, a robot framework keyword library intended to be used with RobotMK. Robot Framework Sequence Library, robot framework library for running keywords in sequence. Robot Framework Robosapine's fully localized robot framework library for automating the SAP GUI using text selectors. Robot Framework Suamba Robot Framework Mini Framework. Altista Robot Framework Library, robot framework library for the Altester framework. Altester is an open-source UI-driven test automation tool that helps you find objects in your game and interacts with them. Robot Framework Platinui Platin UI is a library for robot framework that enables easy and cross-platform desktop UI automation with a comprehensive set of keywords for interacting with desktop applications. Robot Frameworks Library custom for automate. Robot Framework PySerial Robot Framework implementation of beloved PySerial module. Azimuth Robot Framework library for interacting with Azimuth. Robot Framework Terraform Library, a robot framework library wrapping the Terraform CLI. Robot Framework Testrail Sync, a tool to synchronize robot framework tests with Testrail. Robot Framework RESTbridge. This is a robot framework keyword library to allow single command execution via HTTP. Robot Framework Report Modifier filter report content. Robot Framework Flowey Windows GUI testing library for robot framework. Robot Framework Airport simple GitHub action summary report for robot framework. Robot Framework Listener Isinga, a robot framework listener for reporting via Isinga 2 API. PyTest Robot Framework, a PyTest plugin that can run both Python and robot framework tests while generating robot reports for them. Robot Framework Minecraft Console Client Bindings, robot framework bindings for controlling the Minecraft console client WebSocket bot. Tested Adapter Robot Framework adapter for test IT. Genie.libs.robot GenieLibs robot framework libraries to interact with Genie. Robot Framework Autorecorder robot framework autorecorder library. Robot Framework Browser robot framework browser library powered by Playwright. Aiming for speed, reliability, and visibility. Robot Framework libtalk docs and TOC generator for robot framework resources and libs. Robot Framework Browser Tray icon and REPL for trying out browser library keywords using Chromium or Edge. Robot Framework Robot Log 2DB imports robot result to test result web app database. Robot Framework AWS, a Python package to test AWS services in Robot Framework. Robot Framework Browser Translation Robot Framework Browser Library Translation to Finnish Language. Robot Framework Kanal Robotno is a proving ground to boost Robot Framework closer to natural language. Robot Framework Resource Graph generate and visualize the dependency graph of resource imports in Robot Framework. Robot Framework Selenium Library Translation Robot Framework Selenium Library Translation to Finnish Language. Robot Framework OpenAPitals, a set of Robot Framework libraries to test APIs for which the OAS is available. Robot Framework Prometheus Additional Robot Framework Keywords. Robot Framework Robot Log 2 RQM imports robot result to IBM Rational Quality Manager. Robot Framework Test Status Management functionality to manage Robot Framework test suites. Robot Framework Robocop Static Code Analysis Tool for Robot Framework. Robot Framework DocGen Robot Framework Documentation Finder and Generator. OpenMary.Robot Framework Library for functional testing OpenMary Framework-based apps. Robot Framework Difflibexed Robot Framework Library to show file/text differences via Python built-in difflib. Robot Framework Selenium Library Web Testing Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework Remote Robot Framework Remote Library based on RPYC. Robot Framework Async Keyword Generic Robot Framework Library for asynchronous keyword execution. Robot Framework GoSoft Command Library GoSoft Common Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework Chrome for testing, the only extension for seamless setup of Chrome for testing in and within Robot Framework. Robot Framework Generic Automation Framework for acceptance testing and robotic process automation. Robot Framework Data Driver, a library for data-driven testing. Robot Framework Appium Library Robot Framework Mobile App Testing Library for Appium Client Android and iOS and Web. Robot Framework Confluent Kafka Library Confluent Kafka Library for Robot Framework. Case Robot Framework Case Robot Framework Plugin. Robot Framework Tidy Code Auto Formatter for Robot Framework. Robot Framework Creatrimas Creation de Trimas and Hexadecimal. Plone.app Robot Framework Testing Resources for Plone. Robot Framework Eggplant Library Robot Framework Eggplant Library. Robot Framework Test Repeater, a listener to repeat test cases for given iterations. Kuflow Temporal Activity Robot Framework Kuflow SDK Temporal.io activities to execute Robot Framework's tasks. Kuflow Robot Framework Kuflow Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework Paratest Switch Controller USB Switch Controller. Robot Framework Parrot Relay Controller Relay Controller. Robot Framework Parrot Crocodile Scanner QR Code Scanner to scan the QR images. Robot Framework Paratocolab OCR Library to recognize text within a digital image. Robot Framework Parrot DTMF Library used to generate and verify DTMF tone. Robot Framework Parrot Audio Controller to play, record audio file and convert audio formats. Robot Framework LSP Language Server Protocol Implementation for Robot Framework. Robot Framework DOIP Robot Framework for DoIP Client. Robot Framework requests Robot Framework Keyword Library Wrapper around requests. Robot Framework Python Lab Core Tools to ease creating larger test libraries for Robot Framework using Python. Allure Robot Framework Allure Robot Framework Integration. Robot Framework Debug Robot Framework Debug Shell. Robot Framework Report Portal Agent for reporting Robot Framework test results to Report Portal. Molecule Robot Framework Molecule Plugin Run molecule tests with Robot Framework as verifier. Orangebeard Robot Framework a Robot Framework listener for Orangebeard. Python Robot Framework the extension enables easy execution of Python tests within the Robot Framework environment. Robot Framework Mitten Library Wrapper for Mitten Proxy with Robot Framework. Robot Framework Database Library Database Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework AngularJS and AngularJS/Angular extension to Robot Framework Selenium Library. Robot Framework libdoc2 testbench Robot Framework libdoc extension that generates Imbus testbench library import formats. Robot Framework OpenAPI a library for contract testing OpenAPI/Swagger APIs. Robot Framework OpenAPI Libcore a Robot Framework library to facilitate library development for OpenAPI/Swagger APIs. Test Gear Adapter Robot Framework Adapter for Test Gear. Robot Framework OpenAFS Library Robot Framework Test Library for OpenAFS. Robot Framework Gherkin Parser for Robot Framework. Robot Framework libdoc2 text generate library documentation in plain text from the JSON generated by libdoc. Robot Framework Pabit Parallel Test Runner for Robot Framework. Robot Framework Browser Migration some small helpers for migration of Selenium library to browser. Robot Framework DocTest Library a library for visual document testing. Robot Framework Cache Robot Framework Library for caching values across tests and test runs. Robot Framework Jinger generate data-driven robot framework test cases using Jinja templates. Robot Framework Debug Library Robot Framework Debug Library and an interactive shell. Robot Framework MBT model-based testing in Robot Framework with test case generation. Test Bench 2 Robot Framework code generator from keyword-driven tests in Imbus Test Bench 3.0 and newer. Robot Framework Pipe Enhance Robot Framework with functional style keyword chaining. Streamline test cases by piping output of one keyword as input to another, simplifying data flow and readability. Robot Framework Mainframe 3270 Mainframe Test Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework State Machine Library Robot Framework State Machine Library. Robot Framework Oracle Library Oracle Database Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework Jevent Run keywords asynchronously with the power of Jevent. Robot Framework Examples in Robot Framework. Expands example data to individual test cases. KiwiDM's Robot Framework plugin Robot Framework integration with Kiwi TCMS. Robot Framework Appium Sakuli Library Appium Sakuli Library for Robot Framework. Robot Framework KDLS Library for Robot Framework in which to interface with Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Robot Framework NiFi Library for Robot Framework.